Bill.
And I'm Jim.
And we're here today to discuss the issues of veteran homelessness.
Let's connect to Lizzie and Olivia to see what they found this week.
Hello, I'm Lizzie McGrady, and I'm reporting live from Connecticut, where chronic veteran homelessness has recently been eliminated. For the past few weeks, Olivia Grommers and I have worked hard researching veteran homelessness, and we found out what people in your local communities can do about it. Here's what we found.
There are 50,000 homeless veterans in the United States. Of those 50,000, 9% are female.
Of those 50,000, 51% have disabilities.
And of that, 50% have some sort of mental disease.
70% have substance abuse problems.
This is not okay.
After researching, we found this clip that helps explain why some veterans may be homeless.
I think the research shows us that veterans are homeless for the same reasons that other people experience homelessness, and that is that they lack affordable housing. They don't have either the incomes to be able to afford housing, or they live in rental markets where the rents are sky high and they can't afford their rent.
The federal budget is made up of $1.11 trillion. Of that, only 6% goes to veteran benefits. We think that the government should spend more money on programs to aid veteran homelessness instead of spending money on unnecessary buildings or expeditions.
Earlier this week, we spoke to Commissioner Sean Connolly on the federal budget and how it affects our veterans.
From my perspective, I could always use more budget. The U.S. government could always, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs could always use more budget for veterans. I do think as a nation, we have to think about that up front. If we are going to send our women and men in uniform off and deploy them to environments all around the world, that we have to think of the veterans piece when they come home. We have to think about that up front, and that it truly is a part of the cost of war, and you can't just forget about that when they get home. We have to provide them the resources early. The earlier that we can provide the resources to our veterans when they come home, I think the better, and I think actually it'll cost less in the long run. But yeah, absolutely, we have to. That's got to be part of the equation when we're thinking about mobilizing and deploying our servicewomen and men. We've got to think about how we support them when they get home.
Connecticut is one of a few states that was able to eliminate chronic veteran homelessness. We decided to speak with Commissioner Yvonne Klein in Hartford, Connecticut, to learn how CT was able to reach the government's goal of ending veteran homelessness by 2016.
Homeless again, but what we have done in the state of Connecticut, which is really important, is that we've developed a system where we can quickly identify whether someone is a veteran or not a veteran, someone who is homeless, quickly identify them as being homeless, and then rapidly place them into the appropriate housing. And that's key. And it's very different from what was happening a few years ago.
For our last interview, we spoke to Secretary Robert McDonald from the Department of Veterans Affairs. Mr. McDonald explained to us what the VA needs to do to eliminate veteran homelessness throughout the whole country.
Continuing to make sure our care for veterans and health care is state-of-the-art, continuing to draw down the backlog of disability claims, continuing to eliminate veteran homelessness, continuing to fight so that there isn't a stigma around mental health disease in this country, continuing to create more doctors. VA trains 70% of doctors in the country. Continuing to keep our medical school affiliation strong, because through those medical school affiliations, that results in important outcomes for the American public.
Here are our overall findings. There are many causes to veteran homelessness, but specifically post-traumatic stress disorder, substance abuse problems, physical disabilities such as amputees, and low socioeconomic status, which causes non-affordable housing. Here's what our government is doing to help. They have many plans and programs to aid homeless veterans, such as the SSVF program, the GI Bill and the post 9/11 GI Bill, and the My VA Plan of Action. At the end of all of our interviews, we asked our interviewees what still needs to be done. They all said that local volunteer work is always necessary to raise awareness in all of the communities where there are homeless veterans.
Wow. Thanks, guys. That was truly inspirational. Veteran homelessness is still a huge problem, though. So we want to know, what can you do to help?